would rise to over 1 million people. And as a result of the Digital Economy Bill, skilled jobs will flow from investment in world-leading digital infrastructure. And this will advance the delivery of a new super-fast broadband network reaching every home, as well as taking tough action against those who abuse copyright online. From investment...
I'm grateful to the Prime Minister for giving way. Does he believe it is acceptable to take money from the BBC's licence fee to pay for some of these government policies? Or does he share my view that in doing so it would undermine the independence from government of the BBC?
I think you should understand that the arrangement for the rise in the BBC licence fee, when it did happen, was that the BBC would contribute funds to maintaining and improving the digital infrastructure of the country. So when the licence fee was negotiated, there was an agreement that the BBC would contribute to people being online and to the digital changes that we're bringing about. So we're moving from an analogue to a digital structure. The BBC agreed to contribute to that, and it is right, in my view, that the BBC should make that contribution as a result of the agreement that was made. But from investing in a digital Britain, 1/3 jobs will be generated over the next few years. So the energy bill and the digital bill build on what we are doing to equip Britain for the long-term future. The Planning Act, the new national plans for energy, for nuclear and for ports, the decisions on airports, the start of construction for Crossrail, decisions on rail electrification, investments in science, the new fund for innovation, our support for low-carbon technologies, allied to our active membership of the European Union, all long-term decisions in Britain's interest, all long-term investments we as a country need to make, all long-term investments that cannot be left to the vagaries of the free market alone, that have to be made by a partnership of governments taking an active and strategic role in preparing our future. Mr. Speaker, the dominant issue, okay, wait.
Can I thank the Prime Minister? Could I ask him what vehicle does he propose to introduce a guarantee for those under 25 who are long-term unemployed, in other words, for 12 months or more?
Coming to that, so if you will just listen to me, the dominant issue is, as he says, jobs. It's helping people be secure in their jobs, it's finding jobs for young people who are unemployed, and we must not only act for the future as we're doing with the digital and energy bill, but we must do more to act now. Now, in the last quarter, employment has risen. Even during this downturn, there are 2 million more people in work than in 1997. There are over 400,000 vacancies in the country. 300,000 men and women are leaving the unemployment register every month. Over half of claimants find work within 3 months. If the experience of the 1990s recession had been repeated, employment would have fallen by 1.7 million more than it has. No one can justify leaving young people out of work in poverty and without hope for the future, as happened in the 1980s under the Conservatives. And today I want, in answer to his question and to others, to make 4 new guarantees designed to ensure that at no point are young people deprived for any length of time of the opportunity to work or train or prepare for work. First, our September guarantee for young people provided funding for 55,000 extra young people this September. And today I can announce that we will offer for the first time a January guarantee for young people. So from January next year, I know the opposition don't like hearing about measures to deal with unemployment, but I think they should remember that they were the party that faces the highest level of unemployment our country has seen since the war, and we are the party that is acting to bring unemployment down. So today I can announce that we will offer for the first time a January guarantee. From January, all 16 and 17-year-olds who are not in employment, education or training, who are without a place, will be guaranteed a place in learning. And together these steps mean that overall, since last summer, an extra 100,000 young people will have benefited. Secondly, earlier this year, the Work and Pension Secretary announced that all young people would be guaranteed a job, training or work experience and required to take it after 12 months unemployment. Because of the financial savings we have made from lower than expected unemployment, the Work and Pension Secretary will announce in her employment white paper a new guarantee that thousands of additional young people who are unemployed for less than a year will now be able to benefit from them being a guaranteed job or training. But I also want a day one guarantee to all young people out of work, so that at no point will young people be lost to the labour market and to opportunity. So we will offer online training courses direct and offer at the start of the claim the opportunity of work experience places to young people. And I can also announce a graduate guarantee so that no graduate will become long-term unemployed. All new graduates still out of work after 6 months will have access to a high-quality internship or to training or help to become self-employed. And for this, I'm grateful for the partnership we've announced recently with the Federation of Small Businesses. Now, together with these 4 new measures and the measures introduced over the last 12 months, they constitute the most comprehensive and effective programme for preventing higher unemployment in our country's history, and we are determined to see it through.
Could the Prime Minister explain to small businesses in my constituency on the verge of ceasing to trade because of vast hikes in business rates, why for small businesses in his constituency, business rates have either been scrapped completely or severely reduced?
Mr. Speaker, we have helped 200,000 businesses, including many in his constituency, with the cash flow problems that they've had during this recession. This has helped 200,000 businesses. It's been worth about £4 billion. It enables businesses to keep going. And I believe if he talks to the Federation of Small Businesses and to other business organisations like the CBI and the Institute of Directors, they support this. As far as other measures are concerned, he'll have to wait till the pre-budget report, which the Chancellor will bring forward. But, Mr. Speaker, we have invested £5 billion in employment support so that young people and adults can get back to work. The Conservatives opposed. The New Deal has helped over 2 million people into work. The Conservatives opposed. Our September school leavers guarantee is helping over 1.5 million 16 to 18-year-olds. The Conservatives would refuse to give such a guarantee. We have made 10,000 additional student places available. We have taken these measures so that thousands more would not be unemployed. But every major policy we have announced to support young people and to support the unemployed had been rejected by the Conservative Party. Their policy is not a guarantee, it's a gamble for people facing the future without the help they should have. Now, the Conservative Party says they've moved to the centre. They say they're about helping the poor. They say they're about supporting public services. But every measure they announce is simply a repeat of the failed policies of the 1980s and 1990s. And where does the money go in the Conservative economic programme? What is the flagship policy for the Conservatives? I have the Conservative economic policy here that was produced for their annual conference. And it confirms what I did not think possible during a recession. They have decided that even after these...
I say to the Honourable Gentleman, the member for Blaby, the Opposition Deputy Chief Whip, that after 17 years in the House, I think he knows that he's got to set an example to others, and he has a responsibility to behave with some dignity. He ought to start now. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I was explaining that the Conservative Party have decided, even in these difficult economic times, even after the questions people have put about their priorities as a party, even after the Leader of the Opposition made a speech last week saying the gap between rich and poor was too great, even after he said inequality was a problem that had to be dealt with, that differences in wealth contribute, he said, to our social problems, he has decided to maintain the Conservative commitment to give £200,000 to the richest 3,000 people in our country by an inheritance tax cut. And I've looked at these proposals, and he's got to face up to the gap between rich and poor and to the inequality they would create. An estate of 1 million would benefit by £120,000. An estate of £1.5 million by £320,000. An estate of 2 million by £520,000. Is it not to say one thing and do another that they promise to attack the gap between rich and poor and then are responsible for the most regressive policy you can imagine, where 99% of the benefit goes to the richest few in our country? They are saying they will cut education maintenance allowances. They will save money by restricting Sure Start. They refuse to commit to raising child tax credits. They will speedily raise the retirement age for women. They will not match our promise to people in need of care in their own homes. They will freeze public sector wages. They will cut the school building programme. Their only definite commitment is to cut inheritance tax for the smallest number of people imaginable. The majority of constituents will have nobody in their constituency who benefits from this. The typical constituency will have only 5 people who benefit. The biggest group of beneficiaries are in one area of the country, Kensington and Chelsea, which of course includes Notting Hill. And this must be the only tax change in history when the people proposing it, the Leader of the Opposition and the Shadow Chancellor, will know by name almost all of the potential beneficiaries. Is this Is this what the Conservatives mean when they say